Is another entry from Jesus, the Son of Man by Kahlil Gibran. Kahlil Gibran, Jesus, the Son of Man, his words and his deeds as told and recorded by those who knew him. John, the son of Zebedee, on the various appellations of Jesus. John, the son of Zebedee. You have remarked that some of us call Jesus the Christ, and some the Word, and others call him the Nazarene, and still others the Son of Man. I will try to make these names clear in the light that is given me. The Christ, he who was in the Ancient of Days, is the flame of God that dwells in the spirit of man. He is the breath of life that visits us and takes unto himself a body like our bodies. He is the will of the Lord. He is the first word, which would speak with our voice and live in our ear, that we may heed and understand. And the word of the Lord our God builded a house of flesh and bones, and was man like unto you and myself. For we could not hear the song of the bodiless wind, nor see our greater self walking in the mist. Many times the Christ has come to the world, and he has walked many lands, and always he has been deemed a stranger and a madman. Yet the sound of his voice descended never to emptiness, for the memory of man keeps that which his mind takes no care to keep. This is the Christ, the innermost and the height, who walks with man towards eternity. Have you not heard of him at the crossroads of India, and in the land of the Magi, and upon the sands of Egypt? And here in your north country, your bards of old sang of Prometheus, the fire-bringer, he who was the desire of man fulfilled, and the caged hope made free, and of Orpheus, who came with a voice and a lyre to quicken the spirit in beast and man. And know you not of Mithra the king, and of Zoroaster the prophet of the Persians, who woke from man's ancient sleep and stood at the bed of our dreaming? We ourselves become man anointed when we meet in the temple invisible once every 1,000 years. Then comes one forth embodied, and at his coming our silence turns to singing. Yet our ears turn not always to listening, nor our eyes to seeing. Jesus the Nazarene was born and reared like ourselves. His mother and father were like our parents, and he was a man. But the Christ, the Word, who was in the beginning, the Spirit, who would have us live our fuller life, came unto Jesus and was with him. And the Spirit was the versed hand of the Lord, and Jesus was the harp. The Spirit was the psalm, and Jesus was the tune thereof. And Jesus, the man of Nazareth, was the host and the mouthpiece of the Christ, who walked with us in the sun, and who called us his friends. In those days the hills of Galilee and her valleys heard not but his voice. And I was a youth then, and trod in his path, and pursued his footprints. I pursued his footprints and trod in his path to hear the words of the Christ from the lips of Jesus of Galilee. Now you would know why some of us call him the Son of Man. He himself desired to be called by that name, for he knew the hunger and thirst of man. And he beheld man seeking after his greater self. The Son of Man was Christ the gracious, who would be with us all. He was Jesus the Nazarene, who would lead all his brothers to the Anointed One, even to the Word, which was in the beginning with God. In my heart dwells Jesus of Galilee, the man above men, the poet who makes poets of us all, the Spirit who knocks at our door, that we may wake and rise and walk out to meet truth, naked and unencumbered.